Hey, Mr. Schwartel's class. It's Mr. Schwartel here, obviously. And this is going to be my first webcast or screencast for you all. And we're going to talk about something called order of operations. And I'm sure you might have heard about order of operations in the 4th grade, but we are going to just take another deeper look into it starting here in the 5th grade. So, as you can see to the top left over here, I have something that looks like a hopscotch kind of court, right? If you've ever played hopscotch before. So up top it's got P, and then it has E, and then MD, and then AS. And if you look to the right over here, we see what those abbreviations stand for. The P stands for parentheses, which we see down here, have to be closed on both sides. Exponents is something that we will touch on a little bit later. I don't want to get too into those right now because they don't. We don't see them a lot moving forward, but we'll touch on them later. Multiplication and division, you all know what those are, and I have those going left to right because when you read them in an equation, you're supposed to read them like a book. So you read it left to right. So whatever comes first between multiplication and division, you will do that. And then after that, we have addition and subtraction. And, that's the same thing as multiplication and division. You're going to read it like a book. So whatever happens first, reading left to right, is what you will do first. So let's start with our first practice problem, which is 8 plus 4, and it's important to note that it's in parentheses, times 3. Now, some of you might say that, hey, multiplication is before addition and subtraction. We see our multiplication sign right here. But we have to make a note that our addition is inside our 2 parentheses, right? So, and please forgive Mr. Schwartel for the bad drawing, but stick with me. We have to note that since our addition is inside parentheses, and we see that parentheses comes first, even though it's addition, we do that before the multiplication. So, we all know that 8 plus 4 equals 12. Once Mr. Schwartel is done, and again, please forgive me for the bad drawing, once Mr. Schwartel is done with one part of my equation when it comes to order of operations, I like to rewrite the equation. So, we've done 8 plus 4, that means our parentheses are poof, gone, right? So 8 plus 4 is 12, and then let's just rewrite it as 12 times 3. Now, there's nothing left for us to do except 12 times 3. 12 times 3 is 36. So we see that 8 plus 4 times 3 will equal 36. Alright, let's take a look at our second problem. Our second problem is 7 plus 6 divided by 2. Now, some of you might be very eager to add the 7 and the 6 and get 13, and then divide 13 by 2. But, if we look at our order of operations, we see that multiplication and division come before addition and subtraction. So, we are going to divide 6 divided by 2, right? Because we read it left to right, so we're not going to divide 2 by 6. 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 gets us 3. And just like the first problem, we'll rewrite it again. So 7, the plus stays there, right? We haven't used it yet. 7 plus 3 is our new equation, right? We've done our division, so that goes away. And 6 divided by 2 equals 3. And then 7 plus 3, we know, is 10. Alright? Now, moving on to the last problem. We see 8 times 6 divided by 6. And now Mr. Schwartel wants you to really pay attention to this one because this is where a lot of people get tripped up, even me sometimes. So we have both multiplication and division in this problem. Excuse me. All right, we see our multiplication sign there, and our division sign there. So a lot of people get tripped up and just, guess at which one they have to do first. But if we go up here, and this is why Mrs. Swartell likes the hopscotch, we go up here, we see multiplication and division are equal, but we read them like a book. So think about most of the books you read, even some of the graphic novels that Mrs. Swartell has, you're going to read it left to right, right? So whichever comes first. So as we read this problem, 8 times 6 divided by 6, we see that the multiplication part, or the multiplication symbol, comes first. So we're going to take the first two numbers, 8 times 6. Now, 8 times 6 equals 48. And if you don't know 8 times 6 off the top of your head, like Mr. Swartell didn't for so long, you can split that up or deconstruct it, right, into 8 times 4 plus 8 times 4. So, once we're done with that, we see we have 48. We want to rewrite our problem. The 8 and the 6 are gone, so the multiplication symbol is going to be gone. And we have 48 divided by 6, right? Now, we just figured out what 8 times 6 is. That got us 48. So 48 divided by 6 has to get us 8, right? We just figured that out. So, we see that 8 times 6 divided by 6 equals 8. Okay? So, I hope that you've kind of taken a few notes and kind of just, taken your time to watch this video. Don't worry if you have any questions. We will get to those on Thursday. I hope everybody is safe and warm in their house. And remember, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 rights made an airplane.